Let me tell you a little story. I may have a slight amount of PTSD from this yet. Back in 2003, I took my grandparents to Westminster, Maryland to visit my grandpa's relatives. He was a little past 80 at the time. Never going to forget the roads of his hometown. Just, you don't forget these things. And so we load up the 2000 Buick LeSabre, Titanic Blue. Apparently that movie had a big impact, even though, frankly, I don't think there's anything in the North Atlantic or the Titanic that's this particular shade of blue, but hey, I digress. It's a nice car. Still is. Grandma still has it. Anyway, we load the thing up and we head off at dark 30 in the morning and go directly to Findlay to the Bob Evans, where we have a nice leisurely breakfast because, God forbid, we do anything in a timely fashion. So, pulling out of there, somehow along the line, I end up getting some wiper blades and a set of maps, which they assured me there was no reason to bring maps on this project because they are never going to forget where these roads are. It's no possible chance of ever getting lost. Everything's memorized. And so we hit the Columbus bypass about rush hour. At least I think it was about rush hour. It was about 9 a.m. and I never saw so many cars before in my life. We missed our exit. Somehow it feels like I circled the city a second time, but I probably really didn't. So anyway, then we get on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and Grandpa's sitting there in the shotgun seat, and he's got the maps in his lap, and he's smiling, he's happy, and Grandma's in the back seat, and everything's going well. And then I see a sign up ahead. It says, entering Pittsburgh. Now, at this point, I found out that there is a Pennsylvania Turnpike and there is a Pennsylvania Expressway Turnpike. Never the twain shall meet, and you do not want to get them confused, and I got them confused. Now, I discovered this. At about this time, there was a little storm. It was, I believe, known as Hurricane Irma. And while most of its fury was spent, it was going through this area. And a lot of Pittsburgh was underwater. Now Pittsburgh is in 3 dimensions. I've since ridden through it with my PPG representative, and I'm very comfortable being a passenger at Pittsburgh. I don't want to drive through there. We don't have topography where I live. I mean, this is the Great Black Swamp of northwestern Ohio. 20 feet elevation change is dramatic for Putnam County, Ohio. I mean, it's Pittsburgh. There are 3 levels. I mean, it looks, like it's from a fantasy world. So anyway, this is the days before satellite navigation, and my map isn't that good. I have no idea what I'm doing. So eventually we wander into an appliance dealership, which, that's appropriate for me. And, I'm looking at this KitchenAid dishwasher, and it makes me feel very much at home because while I didn't stamp the steel for the tub, I know the guys who did. And we ended up following this kindly appliance dealer out of town. By this point, I believe it was around 5 p.m. So I'm tired, and we are now on the correct road, headed in the correct direction, with a long, long way to go between Pittsburgh and Westminster, Maryland. So we start to go over the mountains, and the rain gets worse. I mean, I could barely see the guardrail to my right side in the car. But I got to keep going. There's no way I can stop. And at one point, some maniac just blows past me at twice the speed of sound with his 4-ways on. And I'm wondering, why does this guy have his 4-ways on? And then I realized later, oh yeah, he was doing 45. Because you got to have your 4-ways on to be going 45 or less. Yeah, I'm that much of an old lady driving the car. So then we eventually, about 11 p.m., if I recall correctly, maybe 11:30, it was not a good time, roll our very clean vehicle. By this point, it's been getting rained on for about 6 hours, into Westminster, Maryland. And the hotel is across the street from the Cranberry Mall. I have no idea what that means. Nobody has any idea what that means. We do not have the address of the hotel. Grandma knew the name of it, and she kept calling it Westminster, Maryland, which made me annoyed. And I was being mean to her because she's just a poor old lady who can't talk. And of course, we don't have the names or the phone numbers of any of the relatives who lived there because the plan was to look that up in the phone book after we got to the hotel that we couldn't find. That I am somehow expected to remember how to get to, even though I've never been in this state before. So we eventually wander into the wrong hotel, which frankly at this point I don't care, and they take pity on us, which frankly because we need all the help we can get, and we are a pitiful group of people at this point, and give us directions to the proper hotel. And so the next year we go back to Maryland, and they want to stay at the hotel that we asked directions for that I don't remember how to get to because I'd seen it once at midnight when I was dead tired and disoriented. That's not an acceptable answer. The trip home was much less eventful, although Grandpa did insist we were lost when we were in Leipzig, which is about 10 miles from his house. Following that, Dad took me to London, Ohio to farm progress, and I was just about having a panic attack riding shotgun because it messed with my head, man. At least that's the way I heard it. I don't want to go on the Columbus. I don't want to go to Pittsburgh again. Just don't want to.